Scrolling through TikTok, I stopped in my tracks. A strikingly young woman, her accent impossible to place, looked straight into the camera and declared, "Nobody's coming to save you, and honestly, nobody's obligated to." That woman was TheWizardLiz, a social media powerhouse with over 7 million followers on her TikTok and YouTube pages, known for her no-nonsense self-help advice.
People that don't want to do anything with their lives, they will always just end up on the sideline. Everybody has problems. Just to look at me and think, whoa, if Liz expects this much from her partner, then maybe I can expect my partner to at least give me some respect.
I started prioritizing my own needs and wants. Whatever I want goes first.
Her videos don't sugarcoat reality. Titles like "Stop Dating Broken Guys," "Why Everyone is Obsessed with Me," and "You Don't Like Yourself? Create a New Version of Yourself" make it clear. Leveling up is a choice, and no one will do that for you. TheWizardLiz has sparked discussions about self-prioritization and personal boundaries. In her video titled "Becoming Selfish is the Best Thing I've Ever Did," she promotes selfishness as a revolutionary life hack, essentially telling people to put themselves first. Because obviously the
reason why your life isn't perfect yet is because you're too nice.
Is I started prioritizing my own needs and wants. Whatever I want goes first. That's it. I do not care anymore. Now what I do first is I fill my own cup. First, like, am I okay? Am I whole? Yes, okay, then I can give to you as well.
But not everyone is buying it. Some critics argue that her message is shallow and contradictory. One Reddit user dramatically declared, "She sounds so shallow. Her stories constantly contradict one another." Harsh, right? But the internet is never one to hold back. Meanwhile, TikTok debates rage on about whether her advice is empowering or just another way to justify being a jerk. If you prefer an in-depth critique, here's even a YouTube video titled "Everything Wrong with TheWizardLiz," because of course, there is. So who is TheWizardLiz? TheWizardLiz, whose real name is Liza Jabrailova, is a Belgian content creator from Antwerp. Born on January 1st in 1999, she's 26 years old as of 2025. Her content primarily focuses on self-development, mental health, and lifestyle topics. She began her social media journey by posting her first ever TikTok in May 2021, which featured a transformation from her school days to the present.
Oh no, she's confident, you tell her the way she walks in her room. She said it's that first time, I think she might have lied, feels so good down.
Basically, if you've ever had an existential crisis at 2 a.m., chances are you've seen her videos popping up in your recommendations. Liza also keeps her personal life relatively private, though we do know that she migrated to Europe as a baby due to war and grew up facing financial struggles, so this background has influenced her drive for financial stability and her passion for helping others through her content. And honestly, that all sounds pretty good, right? Like, what's the problem? Well, some people argue that she's just trying to help people build confidence and some boundaries. Others feel like she's oversimplifying life's complexities and dashing out advice that, while inspiring, might not always hold up in reality. So let's talk a bit more about TheWizardLiz and her content. I came across a video titled "Becoming Selfish is the Best Thing I've Ever Did." In this video, TheWizardLiz advocates for prioritizing oneself, framing selfishness as a pathway for personal growth. And while some viewers appreciate the emphasis on self-care, others criticize it as promoting self-centered behavior.
Enough with your stupid self-pity, and you go and you become selfish. Yeah, exactly, selfish. Ooh, what a scary word. Everybody's scared of the word selfish. But you know what? Being selfish literally saves me. Literally saved me completely. Because I just came to a point where I realized, hey, listen, when they need someone, Liz is always there. But when I need someone, why is everything empty?
Right off the bat, the title is a bit too clickbaity, as you might see, and after watching this excerpt, we cannot make any specific statements about her, but it's quite clear that she tends to promote this very self-centered mindset. Healthy young people watching this might get confused and feel the pressure to always put themselves first and listen to her advice. And some people might even think that we need to put others down to prioritize ourselves, even though it isn't something that she says. And look, if people who actually have problems with people pleasing or confidence, this video might be quite helpful and motivating. But the utility of this video fades away when young, healthy individuals start setting their priorities based on her advice. She shares her advice based on the problems that she had when she was unhealthy. But healthy, absolutely normal people will come over listening to her advice and then go out and practice it in the real world by disregarding other people's opinions or prioritizing themselves all the time without even the need to do so. So if you're like a good, confident person, you might also try to help others and make friends and sometimes put others' needs first, and there's nothing bad about that. So it's very easy to feel pressured or inspired to follow that advice without even knowing its relevance to your life. And it's not just about TheWizardLiz, there's so much of such content on social media and it's easy to get lost. It's easy to think that it's relevant to your life when the reality is that it might not be.
You contributing with like, oh my god, I don't like this about you, you have to change this. Who are you? Excuse me? Did you give me money? Did you pay my bills? Because if next time somebody wants to give their opinion about my life, you're gonna have to pay my bills. Because you ain't paying no bills. You ain't living my life. You are not going through what I'm going through. And you think you have the audacity to tell me how I should live my life. No, it doesn't work like that. If you're not contributing to either my happiness, to my bills, to anything that makes me happy, you're not relevant to me. And if you have an issue with me, you can always call me. You don't have my number, honey, you're not important. I'm sorry.
A perfectly healthy, normal person might watch the video and say, okay, I have to put myself first in order to be successful. But again, the problem with this type of content and her advice is that she shares a very narrow definition of things. Success isn't always about having people admiring you or having a lot of money or being happy. Sometimes it's about making other people happy. So we have this really narrow definition of success and sometimes it backfires. Another video I came across was how to stop being lazy and pathetic. The blunt title and direct approach in this video have drawn mixed reactions. Like some find her tough love style motivating, while others feel like it comes across as harsh and unempathetic. And again, some people have a lot of concerns about her advice in this video as it was too simplistic and it also lacked actionable steps and practicality. And Lisa isn't alone in this problem. She belongs to a growing wave of tough love self-help influencers teaching women to cut off toxicity, demand respect, and embrace unapologetic selfishness. Alongside her are Kanika Batra, self-proclaimed diagnosed psychopath who offers advice from a perspective free of empathy, Pasty, known for viral Twitter threads like how to steal someone's boyfriend and how to distance your man from his mother, Shara7, and dating coach whose live streams tackle topics such as stop paying these duties bills, you can't please everyone so please yourself.
What do you bring to the table, Miss Nothing? I'm not no waitress. And if I was, I'm putting extra food on that bill so you could give me extra.
What if he asks about body count? Ask about bank account. If he always asking for pictures and pictures, he's collecting pictures because he can't collect you. When a woman says, don't worry about it, I will find another way, that means another man. If you don't like old men, then focus on ugly, all right? Ugly with money. Sparkle, sparkle.
These influencers encourage women to leverage relationships with men for financial gain, framing it as a form of empowerment in the name of feminism. There are a lot of influencers in this space, and you might see a lot of such content popping up in your recommendations. And yeah, self-help content for women isn't new. Books like Women Who Run with the Wolves and Eat, Pray, and Love encourage emotional healing long before TikTok existed. But while soft girl self-improvement focuses on inner peace, this new wave of influencers treats life like a strategy game. If traditional self-help preaches radically accept yourself, these women suggest swapping all about love for the art of war. So this hyper-individualistic mindset reflects a larger cultural shift, moving away from the community-focused, we're all in this together, rhetoric, toward a harsher survival of the fittest mentality. As journalist Jocelyn Silver puts it, women have been given a vocabulary to explain and rationalize the bad things that happen to them. Kanika Batra takes that sound vocabulary and flips it into a tool for revenge. In other words, sometimes being the villain is more fun than being the victim. Figures like Andrew Tate and Jordan Peterson have built empires by preaching the inner warrior ideology to men, while insisting that women should remain passive, obedient, and chaste. Liz and Batra, they offer the opposite. Both have been labeled as the female Andrew Tate, not because they push misogyny, but because they encourage extreme self-preservation at all costs. And the logic? Women must outthink and outplay the men who follow Tate's teachings. Dr. Linda Chermaraman, a senior researcher in digital media, notes, "It's very socially unacceptable for women to be aggressive and angry, and you don't expect a sociopath to look like Kanika Batra. You expect them to look like the Anna Bomber in a hoodie." These women are breaking gender norms, forcing people to rethink what power looks like. On the one hand, this woman is refreshing, right? After years of being told to be patient, kind, and forgiving, many women are drawn to a more cutthroat, strategic approach. It's a thrill to watch women assert their worth in a world that constantly tries to diminish them. But is this mindset always healthy? Not exactly. Dr. Charmaraman warns that young, impressionable viewers might adopt a hyper-suspicious view of relationships, believing that everyone is out to use them and that getting revenge is the only way to win. Grace Behrman, a social worker at the Child Mind Institute, adds that teenagers often lack the ability to filter extreme advice. If you're heartbroken at 16, and an influencer tells you to always seek revenge, you might actually go through with something drastic. And let's be honest, treating life like a chess match isn't a recipe for happiness. Sure, domination might feel powerful in the moment, but it can also lead to loneliness, paranoia, and emotional burnout. And overall, I think this trend taps into something a lot bigger: women's frustration with being told to settle, stay small, and be kind no matter what. And it's so empowering to hear someone say, "Put yourself first." And let's face it, watching these women win is widely entertaining. But should their advice be taken literally? Maybe not. Like reality TV, it's fun to consume, but if you start acting like a real housewife in your personal life, it might be time to stand back. Before you go ahead and accuse me of criticizing TheWizardLiz and other similar creators, let's broaden the scope. The conversation isn't just about this influencer, it's about a growing culture surrounding self-improvement that has increasingly become about quick fixes, packaged solutions, and self-centeredness.
How to love yourself.
Tell you why no one's opinion actually matters.
The best piece of advice that I will ever give you.
If there's one thing that you need to learn right now, that you need to start doing right now to completely become an unfuckwithable version of yourself, this is it.
I literally get asked on a daily basis, "Sandy, how are you so confident? How do I get there? What do I have to do? I have trouble wearing what I want. I have trouble talking to boys I like. Like, Sandy, come on, give me some help."
In her video Self-Centeredness is Not Self-Care, Losing the Human Face Online, Olivia soon points out a stark contradiction in Gen Z's mindset. On the one hand, we talk about changing the world, making it kinder and better, and on the other, we obsess over improving ourselves as individuals.
I find it very interesting that Gen Z tends to be very pro doing good deeds on a macro scale, but not on a micro scale. Gen Zs, especially on the internet, tend to be quite vocal activists. And so on a macro scale, on the grand scale of what we want to see in the world, I'm saying this as a Gen Z, I was born in 2002, we want the world to become a more tolerant, kinder, better place in which everyone of any ability, whatever, can thrive. But on a micro scale, when it comes to our personal, real relationships in real life, it becomes, I don't owe anyone anything, politeness is fake, I'm just being honest, and if you can't handle that, you're a baby, you can't expect the world to coddle your feelings, etc. Like, this brutal honesty is also something that I've seen a lot just in general, especially on the internet, from Gen Z. But if you think about it, that directly contradicts the whole worldview of wanting the world to be a better, kinder, more tolerant place.
So this paradox is at the heart of the booming self-help industry. It thrives on the belief that you're just one book, one video, or one hack away from unlocking your best self. And the problem with that, while the idea of self-improvement is inherently positive, the reality often doesn't live up to the hype. What is sold to us is a quick fix culture where growth is treated as an instant product rather than a lifelong journey. And the issue isn't just about reading a few books or taking the latest advice, it's about the pressure to always be improving yourself, which often turns self-help into a marketable commodity that promises happiness and success in an unrealistic time frame.
Just thinking about why I've seen such a rise in the culture of self-optimization on TikTok, on Twitter, everything from this quantitative, how many steps are you getting in a day, sleep hygiene, everything like that. And I realized it's because people and companies can make so much money off of us when we want to optimize like that. And once I figured out how much it was rooted in capitalism, my entire mindset around that has shifted. And so I want to say, like, as much as it's great to be like 1% better every day or anything like that, like, you're doing fine. You're doing absolutely fine. You don't need to optimize every aspect of your life, except for joy.
Feeling stuck? Try self-improvement. Relationship drama? Self-improvement. Bored? You guessed it, self-improvement. So these quick fixes can be helpful, I know, but they also imply that if you're not actively improving yourself, you're failing, you're not good enough. The pressure to be always leveling up and be the best is so exhausting, and it gets you into the cycle when you try to strive for something better without even taking the time to appreciate where you are right now. And it fosters this sense of inadequacy when the reality is that you're doing just fine. So now, let's relate this back to TheWizardLiz and the rising tide of the tough love self-help gurus. Influencers like Liz, along with others like Mel Robbins and even Andrew Tate, yeah, I said it, often give advice that sounds too simplistic. Just set boundaries, wake up at 5 a.m., believe in yourself. They offer quick, actionable steps that are supposed to lead to instant transformation. And the catch here is that life isn't that simple. Giving advice that's framed as this easy peasy thing can create an unrealistic standard. It's like telling someone who's drowning in the ocean to just swim. It may sound motivational, but it lacks the nuance that real change requires. In the self-help world, consuming advice often becomes the end goal. People read books, they watch videos, they attend seminars, but they never actually take that leap into applying what they learn. It's like a student who memorizes the facts for the test, but never actually takes the exam. The feedback loop of constantly consuming content without a real-life application keeps people stuck in a state of perpetual improvement, but never actually achieving anything. And TheWizardLiz content feeds into this. Her no excuses, tough love tone might sound empowering, but it can also leave people feeling like failures when they can't apply the tips to their own lives. And this is the core issue in the self-help industry. It often creates pressure to be perfect without offering practical tools to achieve this state. And in many ways, this is where TheWizardLiz and other influencers are selling a dream that's so unattainable as it is seductive. Another interesting problem is this echo chamber effect. Many influencers like Liz and other content creators cultivate strong, loyal fan base where they see their advice as gospel. Dissenting opinions? Blocked. Criticism? You're not just ready for the truth yet. This creates a closed loop where followers are encouraged to consume more content rather than critically engage with it. It's like I see the advice on the social media from my favorite creator and I consume it no matter what, without even critically thinking through it, whether it's relevant to my life or even makes sense. So you're in that loop. In a way, this tough love influencers, though they market themselves as antidotes to mainstream, soft wellness culture, they still perpetuate the same problem. Instead of fostering a holistic, thoughtful approach to growth, they focused on winning a life, as if life itself were a game to be conquered. And now it's time for some personal story, and I would love to share something that really personally relates to me and might relate to you as well. Over last year, I became heavily invested in self-improvement. I watched hundreds of videos, read dozens of books, and implemented every habit I came across, from meditation techniques to productivity hacks, whatever. I myself consumed content from TheWizardLiz, Tony Robbins, Jordan Peterson, and Jay Shetty. I was so focused on myself that in turn excluded me from people and connections I actually needed. And then came the backlash. Quiet at first, like a whisper in the back of my mind, then louder, until it was literally screaming. Enough already. I had done so much, I knew too much, and I had so much self-awareness that I was practically levitating. I had let go of my ego. Good, right? But in the process, I'd lost touch of what I actually wanted. And this is very bad actually, considering the whole point of this was supposed to be self-fulfillment. Then one late afternoon, drained of all my energy, I found myself laying on my sofa, doom scrolling through the wellness content, absorbing yet another life-changing tip I'd probably forget in an hour. And I knew I should be journaling, meditating, or aligning my chakras or whatever the latest trend was, but I honestly was exhausted. My body wasn't whispering, it was literally yelling. We are at max capacity, no more self-improvement, we're officially full. And then I asked myself, how had I gotten to this point? And the answer hit me like a motivational quote. I was trying so hard to heal that I needed to recover from recovery. And now it's clear to me this constant drive for self-improvement subtly reinforces the idea that we're broken, that we're not good enough. And sure, I still get those familiar compulsions to better myself, usually triggered by random panic that I'm wasting my life away being unhealed, but then I remind myself I'm exhausted from trying to fix the problem of me. And let's be honest, we live in a world in this era where everything is work. Our hobbies, our side projects, our bodies, our friendships, and even our relationships. And now, even our inner worlds have been turned into the never-ending DIY projects. I never want to hear the phrase working on myself again, honestly. Like, I'm sick and tired of it. And while I appreciate the insights I've gained so far, I came to one realization. Many self-help creators capitalize on our insecurities rather than genuinely guiding us to improvement. And then I asked myself the question, does the best version of yourself even exist? And even if it does, do we need to force it into existence? And after some self-improvement thing that I've been doing for some time, I literally burnt out. I ended up in a hospital for several weeks. And yeah, apparently you can overdo self-improvement. And at my lowest point, I remembered when my friend once said, you don't have to force yourself into the best version of yourself. Life will do that for you. And there was like a boom, right? No productivity hacks required. And overall, I think that TheWizardLiz and her peers are part of a larger, more complicated culture of self-improvement. They profit from the same paradox. While selling a message of individual empowerment and self-care, they also inadvertently feed into the market-driven narrative that suggests that we're never enough as we are. So these influencers are addressing real frustrations, the desire to be respected, to demand better relationships, and to not settle for less. But when that message is packed as the only path to success, it risks turning self-improvement into yet another pressurized, commodified hustle. And ultimately, self-help advice can be empowering, but it's important to be cautious of those self-help gurus who promise quick fixes, because they aren't real. And the real challenge often is navigating life's complexities with this balanced approach, one that incorporates practical action and genuine self-compassion without falling into the trap of this endless self-improvement cycle. So yeah, we can enjoy the spectacle of the self-improvement gurus and whatever, you can still watch them, but remember one thing, the real power move is knowing when to be ruthless and when to just let things go. Thank you so much for watching this video. It was nice catching up with you. If you enjoyed the video, please like it. You can subscribe to my channel. Write down me some comments. I'm really excited to hear all the comments down below. And this is it for this video, and see you in the next one. Bye!